Hi, hello, vanakkam, and welcome back to yet another episode on your favorite Little Sly YouTube channel. So today, evening, I have got a question from one of our member uh, asking for a clarity or a question. So she basically had a question that she has a requirement that is to execute, or I would say, let me take this way. So she has to achieve. So she basically has. One API. Okay, so let me give it here. So she basically has one API and she has three users to test, which is like basically three user load, and the transactions per second is eight, and she has to achieve. She has to run it for 1 hour. So basically, she has to achieve when it comes to 8 seconds. So it is like 3,600 seconds multiplied by 8. So she basically has to achieve 28,800 hits per hour. So that's basically 8 transactions per second. So this is the question she asked me, and she wanted me to give me a solution on how to do this using near load. So I went through the question, and I find it that this is something that I have to calculate because this question again is coming from most of the subscribers and from the members. So that's the reason I have preparing this video for you. So because this, I mean, again, I will like upload this Excel sheet as well so that you can use it for your workload modeling. So before that, before we move on to this video, this is me, Vasant Shanmugam. I welcome you all to our Little Sly YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't subscribed yet. And don't forget to join my channel, subscribe my channel, give a thumbs up and share the video with your friends and give your comments and feedback. And don't forget to join our WhatsApp channel because we have, I think by this week we have crossed 400 members. So please do join. And there are like around 400 other performance engineer, performance testers who can help you in any of your queries on your day-to-day work. So yeah, so this is a question, and let's see how can we calculate the number. So this is basically the question which I've got, and yeah. So let me go back to the original screen. Yeah. So like I told you, this is the question. So here she has to achieve with one API, three users, 8 TPS per second, and transactions per hour. So now let's determine how many hits per second can I mean per second per user is required. So the total duration is 3,600 seconds. Okay, let's do this way. So we have three users, right? So what if like if how many requests does one user need? So if it's like for one users, then it should be like 28,800 divided by 3. So it is basically 9,600 for one user, right? So that's the expectation. So for three users, we have to achieve 8 TPS, and that is we need to have we have to achieve 28,800. But for one user, it should be 9,600 hits per hour, right? So how many hits per second per user has to be achieved, right? So that's the next question. So this here, I mean, the 9,600 is the number of hits that we have to achieve per hour, right? So how many do we need to get for 1 second? So coming back to this part, which is 9,600, which is the number of hits per hour divided by 3,600. So this is the number that we have to achieve. Like with one API, with one user, we have to achieve 2.67 hits, right? So that's the plan. So now on top of this, we have to add think time, right? Because we should not hit or we should not give continuous hits to the system. So what we have to add is we have to add a think time to the execution. So let me keep it here. So the think time is going to be 10 seconds, right? And then the execution time. So this is an assumption. So the execution time of the API is going to be 1 second. So now, oh, sorry. this one, sorry. Now, the expectation here is one execution, I mean, like one uh, hit for an API we need for one API. If you cannot follow me, please do go back and then come again. If you can follow it, I'm really glad. So for one API, you would need 11 seconds to complete, right? So how do we achieve the 11 seconds? Is we are adding a think time of 10 seconds, and then we do expect that the API would execute for 1 second, so that one API would need 11 seconds to achieve one transaction, right? So when we calculate this way, we need to achieve we need to achieve 2.67 hits per second. So each user should initiate a new hit appropriately every 1 point, I mean, like every 2.67 seconds, which is um, basically one user for every 2.67 seconds. So which is for every 0.37 seconds, we have to achieve, or we have to uh, give a hit, or we have to initiate a new hit, right? So that is the expectation. So the final judgment is this is not possible. So we will not be able to achieve. Just imagine you have three users, okay, which is less than the number of transactions per second. Just imagine you have, even if you have at least eight users, you can consider giving the request even without adding the think time. And even in that scenario, like for example, let me take you in the other way. You have like, let me just copy this one. Just imagine I'm just bringing it this way. So you have eight users and you want to achieve 8 TPS. So one user, uh, you need to, I mean, like get the hits like for every 2.67 seconds. That's right. So just even ignore, you ignore the, uh, what to say, the think time. Okay, just imagine if you are hitting the request. So every second you are hitting the request, and then immediately the request should complete before even, I mean, like in terms of microseconds. So it should get over, and then the next request should start immediately. So that is the way you have to achieve. So anytime when we get the requirements, see, the requirements will come, right? So but as a performance tester, you have to stop, you have to judge the numbers, you have to understand whether it is possible or not, and only then you have to decide on how to do. Okay, so now let me come up with the plan, the original plan, or the plan that will work. Okay, so now the working plan, right? So what do we need? So I have one API, right? Users I made to decide. So I have to decide how many users I need to have, and then the TPS, so that we know, which is 8 transactions per second. The transactions per hour, yes, we know that again. It is um, 3600 seconds multiplied by 8, which is going to be 28,800, right? Let me fill this part. So just you'll be very clear on what we are discussing, right? So I have one API. I have to achieve 8 TPS per second, and I have to achieve 28,800 transactions per hour, right? So now let's come back to the next part, which is the think time. So I will definitely have to add think time. So that there is no excuse. I mean, we all know that, right? So we definitely have to add the think time. Let me format this part here. Yeah. So coming back to this part, so we have to have a think time of 10 seconds. So in case if you want to increase it, please go ahead and increase it. And then the execution time is 1 second, right? So now the next part, which is, so each user, I mean, like one user should be able to make, this is the most important part. So please understand this part. So how many transactions per hour one user has to make. So one has to make like 3600 seconds divided by 11. So that is the total time for one request. So for 1 hour divided by one request, you will be able to make 327 transactions per hour. So that is the achievable request, right? So that's the maximum achievable request. So in case if your execution time goes high, your transactions per hour may come down. If your think time, so in that case you can adjust your think time. So you can increase your think time or you can even decrease your think time, right? So now let's move to the next part. So how many users do we need? So how many users do we need? So how can we calculate? So to achieve this 28,800 transactions per hour with each user. So this is transactions, I mean like, okay, transactions per hour for one user. Okay, so you can, so one user can achieve only 327 hits per hour by having this think time and execution time. So just imagine, see here, if you are if you have a thing, I mean like if you can execute um, 327 hits per hour, and just imagine you have just only three users. So overall you can just achieve only around like 960. So that's the overall thing. So when it is 960, uh, so if I'm just giving this part here. So if it is like 960 divided by 3600, so it's just 0.261. So here you can achieve, so you can see here the same number here. So that's what is the achievable one. So okay, so coming back to this one, so let's don't confuse this. So so the transactions per hour for one user, transactions per hour for one user is, so one user can achieve, so I'll just write this here. So one user can hit 327 times in 1 hour with 10 seconds of think time and 1 second of execution time. So in case, I'll just even give you another example as well. So for a user's case, so let's come to the users now, the final part. So number of users. So you have to hit. So here you can see one user is going to achieve 327 hits. So the total number of hits is 28,800, and one user is going to hit uh, can achieve 327 hits per hour. So how many users do we need? So overall we need 88 users, right? So that's the plan. So you need 88 users to achieve. Okay, let me just write it here so for your understanding. So you need 88 users approximately to achieve 8 TPS per second. That's it. That's it. Very simple. So you need 80 users. That's it. So let me bring you in the other way. So for example, let me take the other example. Okay. So just imagine, some of you might say, okay, I just would need just 5 seconds of think times. Okay. So let's keep this way. So 5 seconds of think time. So coming back here, when it's 5 seconds, okay, when it is 5 seconds, you're going to it's going to be 5 plus 1 6, so it's going to be 6 seconds. So you one user can achieve 600 transactions per hour. Coming back to the last part, so if one user can achieve 600 transactions per hour, you would need 48 users. So let me rewrite this part here. So one user can hit 600 times in 1 hour with 5 seconds of think time and 1 second of execution time. So he can achieve 600 transactions per hour, and 48 users will be able to achieve 8 TPS per second because they are only having 6 seconds of execution time, the total execution time, right? So this is just a simple example, and this is how you can achieve your load of 8 TPS per, I mean 8 TPS, that's it, just transaction per second. So how can we configure this in nearload? So that's the next question. So let me complete it. So that's a question. So how can I complete it? And how can I design that part? So now we have only one API with 3 users, right? So let me bring my new load here. So let me go back. I'll create a new project, which is, I'll just name it as 8 TPS, 8 underscore TPS. And yep, let me finish this. So I'm just going to create some dummy API request. That's it. Going to the new user path. Yes. And then API. Yep. So I mean, all these APIs are individual APIs, which is like independent APIs. Okay. So this is going to be API underscore 01. And then let me duplicate. So now I have API 2. Oh, okay. Let me change it this way. So API 2 and then API underscore 03. So now I have 3 APIs, right? So let me go back to the populations. Uh, so here I have to give, yeah, there's one more wonderful thing which I always make. So what I will do here is I will create 3 populations. Okay, so this is quite complex, but I just found it with my experience. So I'm going to create 3 populations because this will help you to easily achieve the expected number. So in the population one, I'm going to remove everything. So in the population one, I'm going to have just API one, make it 100%. Go to population two, API two, again 100%. Three, again, okay, sorry, I just have to make this API three. Yeah. And then in the population two, yeah. So I have API one, API two, API three. Everything is set. Let's go back to the runtime. So here, let me select all these three, right? And then there is one more thing which I normally would do. So I can even recommend that to you. And in fact, you would have seen that in all my videos as well. So the thing here is I would always use a 1 hour, 10 minutes of execution time. Go to the custom, edit the graph. Like I said, so we have the Excel sheet. So it's your decision. So either are you going to, okay, here, yeah. If you're going to choose, if you're going to add 10 seconds of thin time, then you have to give 88 users and you have to divide this 88 users for 3 scripts. So 3 users basically. Sorry, you have one API and 3 users, right? Okay. Sorry, you just have one API. So the problem is solved here. So okay, I just made some mistake. Let me go back. So you have just one API, right? So come back here. Let me just uncheck it. So I just have only one API, right? And like I told you, I'm going to give 1 or 10 minutes of time, select custom, and yep, you know the users. So if you're going to give 10 seconds of think time, you have to choose 88 users. Or if you're going to use 5 seconds of think time, you can give 48 users. So now in my scenario, I'm going to give 10 seconds of think time. So I'm going to choose 88 users. So I'm going to choose 88 users, select here, select this part, make it to 6 minutes. Oh, sorry, I think I haven't extended this part. So 1 hour, 10 minutes. Yep. And delete here because I know that is two. So make it to 6. And then at the end, this should be 1 hour, 6 minutes, 0. Yep. And change this to 88. Yeah. So this is how I will run my test. So now I have one API. Sorry, I was confused with the population part. I just, yeah. So this is going to be one API. So I just have only, just imagine I just have only one API with a think time of 10 seconds. And I have created a population with one API and then coming to the runtime here and then having a scenario of 1 hour, 10 minutes with the population and then the total user load is going to be 88 users. So that is how I can achieve the expected result. So I just imagine, so I just assume that everybody of you have understood and accepted uh, my calculation. So in case if you have any feedbacks, please go ahead and give me your feedbacks in case if I make any mistakes. And please do share this video with your friends if someone is struggling to get these numbers. And yeah, let me update this. Okay, let me just a second. Let me um, add it to the GitHub so that you all know where is this, and you can make use of it. So let me just save this file here. Yep, book1.xlsx. Um, okay, let me change this to calculate minus TPS minus sheet. Yep. And let me go back to the github.com, and I'll upload this sheet so that you all know where the repository is. In case if I missed to add it in the description. Yep. So we have yeah. So let me yeah. I'll add the uh, file here. So in case if you want to refer my videos, I have added some of my videos. I mean, I would say there are like more than 700 videos, but I'm just trying to add. But here I have almost added around 175 uh, links, and there's Spotify link as well. Okay, let me add the file. Sorry, I just have to upload the file. Yep, and choose your file. Calculate TPS. Yep, and yeah, added calculating TPS file. Yeah, there is another one which I have to approve this request only, then this will be approved. So yeah, again, that's me. Create pull request. Just wait, I'll have to approve it, and in a few moments, you all will be able to see this. Yep. So I think yeah, I must have got a request by now. Yep, added calculating sheet. So I'll have to add my review change, approve. So yeah, this is how again the what to say this thing work, this GitHub works. So let me merge my pull request, confirm merge. Yep, and now you'll be able to see. So if you go to my GitHub, I mean like this is the URL here. So Vasan Shanmugam slash YouTube Spotify video links, and here you can get my calculate TPS sheet. You can use this for your further check. You can even, I mean, I'll just add another set as well tomorrow based on like what if you have like two APIs and how you have to achieve the 8 TPS. So we'll just discuss with some more examples. Okay. So for now, I'm just giving you taking a break, and with that I come to an end. And I definitely believe this video would be very useful to you. So until I meet you in my next video, it's bye bye from Vasan Shanmugam and your favorite little side channel. Take care and bye bye.